Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome to Hypnosis Hero. We've got a special episode tonight. You know, as you probably know, if you were if you saw the update, I don't know if you saw the updates or not, but we were planning to welcome to Hypnosis Hero. We were planning to have on Chris Jones, the awesome stage hypnotist that was on America's Got Talent. He's been on some other cool TV shows. He did one with Fluffy, which was really funny. The comedian Fluffy. He was supposed to be on tonight. He had a last minute gig opportunity, and so he's rescheduled for March 3rd. Everybody, March 3rd, because we are booked out, Shawn. We are booked out for 3 months.
Hey, when you are two wild and crazy guys like us, and then you throw Brian into the mix.
Oh my God! It's pandemonium.
Exactly.
Pandemonium. And so, we're really excited. He was really bummed about it. I mean, he even talked about possibly doing it from backstage at the comedy club. And I said, no, I don't want you to be stressed out and trying to do the show. It's important, but it's not that important. So we let him off the hook. He might even be tuning in a bit right now. If he is, Chris, you're dead to us. You're dead to us. Say that's just hanging out with him too, so he's dead to us too. Actually, they sent me over something, which is I'm really excited about. They were let me adjust my light if I can. Let's see here.
No, I can see you now.
Oh, good. Now it's really bright.
There you go.
They're slowing down. They actually sent me something. So there's a really cool. Where's it at though? Is it on my? Wonder if I can share it. So Salis Juwan was on and you know what? I'm just going to say before we go, I'm going to say before we go any further, but let's say, thank you to everybody who's watching already. We've got Fearlessly Phoenix. She sent us over some good feedback on some stuff, some live streaming software. That was nice of her. Good to see you. Oh yes. Don't forget to like, share, and do all the good stuff. Yes, Shawn is live on TikTok, aren't you?
We are indeed. I had trouble with the keys again, so I'm actually broadcasting right off the desktop. So they're getting the full view of what happens behind the scenes when Shawn is doing everything he can to keep Brian and Jim online and in line.
In line. There's Becca Rose. Finally, she shows up. Good to see you. Let me see. Scott, I don't know where this is coming from. You should have listed this as it is an Ask Me Anything, but that's a weird. If someone was hypnotized to believe they were the opposite gender for a day, what kind of experiences might they report? Scott, we'll get to that. We will get to that. And here's the thing too, because we don't have a scheduled guest on today. Any of you hypnotists that would like to jump on here, you're welcome to join us, or anybody. If anybody wants, Becca or Fearlessly Phoenix, if you want to jump on, talk to us a little bit or do some hypnosis, we're happy to have you. We are going to be doing we'll do our normal routine. I don't know how we'll do our game. I don't know how we'll do our game, Shawn. Is that you doing that?
Well, yeah, because we all tend to agree.
Exactly. What's Fearlessly is saying, that's actually a really good method of maybe dealing with someone that's interesting. So you could give somebody you could give them a taste of what it's like to be that discriminated against or something like that. So that's one way of looking at it. Shawn, are you able to invite me on TikTok?
Not from no, I don't think so.
You're dead to me. You are dead to me. Okay, I'm looking over at your thing here.
Yep, you should see the broadcast right above me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I see. Oh, look, I'm looking at my phone on TikTok. Hey, TikTok, I love you too. All right.
It's all good.
So I'm a little bit discombobulated. I just woke up from a nap, I'll be honest with y'all.
Hey. Now, what's up with that? I haven't had one of those since 1978.
Really? Oh, I'm a frequent napper, my friend. I am a frequent napper.
It's about the time I stopped using nappies.
I'm bringing those back too, Shawn. I'm bringing those back too.
Well, I hear that comes around when we get older. So
Speaking of advanced age, I don't know. So if you want to, if your life sucks, or if you know somebody whose life sucks, what a great Christmas gift. Give this to that person, that special person in your life who their life sucks. Say, here, read Jim Kellner's book, because I got to tell you, everybody, my life used to suck. It was really pretty awful. 15 years ago, I started using hypnosis and some other techniques. Changed it around. I'm now, Shawn, you saw the news. You tell everybody. I mean,
yes, I believe we now have to refer to you as Mr. Ambassador.
I mean, I didn't want to mention it because I'm very humble, as you all know. But Shawn, if you'd like to elaborate,
I cannot go anywhere on social media without Jim. You know, and it's intense, man. Like it's like you're trying to burn into my soul. You know, you're just pointing.
That's right.
You know,
I'm ambassadorizing the hypnosis right into you. So yes, I've been chosen as the ambassador, the hypnosis ambassador of the year for 2025. A position which does hold many wonderful benefits, I'm sure. So far, I haven't found any. Shawn thinks I might have what is it called?
Diplomatic immunity.
I've always wanted that. I've always wanted diplomatic immunity.
Yeah, it didn't work out so well in Lethal Weapon.
So I'm going to Shawn. I mean Scott. All right, let's. Shawn, why don't you call out some people there? I'll take a break. Well, wait, before we go on, everyone of course recognizes me because I am the Hypnosis Ambassador of the Year, Jim Kellner, world-renowned hypnotist, swell fella, fitness model. You may not recognize my good friend Shawn Kostiuk because he lays low a little bit more than I do.
And I'm off planet a lot too.
What's that?
I said, and I'm off planet a lot.
He's off planet a lot, nerd. But we're breaking him out of his shell. As you can see, he's breaking out. Shawn Kostiuk is here tonight. We refer to him as the captain because he thinks he is Jean-Luc Picard or John-Luc Picard. Sorry. He's
okay.
And
they used to call me Jean-Luc in university too.
Jean-Luc. He even has, folks, not even kidding. He even has, and someday he might even show us on the broadcast today. He even has a Star Trek Next Generation bodysuit, very snug fitting bodysuit. So
hey, there's no underwear in space.
Oh no! There's no underwear in space.
That's what they were told. That's all the actors were told the same thing. No underwear in space.
Oh my goodness! So between you dressed in your skin tight tights, and then Terry Stokes in his Superman skin tight tights, it was really a festival of.
I don't know who has that picture. You know, that's the one picture I think I don't have from last year. It is the one that Terry and I took side by side.
I've seen it floating around, so we need to track that down.
Yeah.
But everybody, this is Shawn Kostiuk. We call him the captain. He's also a tech guru. He is the tech force behind the Performing Hypnosis Summit, which is coming up in January 2025. Shawn, do you have a tech tip for these fine folks?
Yeah, actually, I do. It takes a lot longer for water to boil when you're waiting for it.
Good to know.
Start earlier, and then your TikTok keys will get programmed in on time, and then everything else will work.
Shawn, how about saying hi to these folks here while I take a nap again?
I'm waiting for you to do your Big Bird impression. Okay, we got Michael Morgan. Hey. He's excited to be here, and we're excited to be here as well. We have our frenemy, Janae Renee, saying hello. In case we missed it the first time, I guess. Cindy is here.
Cindy
from Cincinnati.
You know, I feel like we did a bait and switch here. We're going to do this next week, too. We're going to, Paul McKenna will be on the show next week, as far as you know.
We've got lots of people also in the chat on TikTok. We've got Vaughn is with us here. I'm trying to see who else is on my list. Karina, yeah, and Phoenixing is there as well. She's watching on both platforms because apparently she can multitask way better than you and I can.
Whoa.
Scott says he has a video. Scott, what do you have a video of? Now he's saying he's got evidence.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
Question is evidence of what?
Yeah. There's been a lot of heinous crimes committed by Shawn Kostiuk. So
Actually, not entirely untrue.
You surprised me.
Except that I grew up on the west side of the province. There was another guy who grew up actually just south of here. Same name, much different person.
Really? So there are currently warrants out for.
Well, there could be. You never know. Let's just say that our blockbuster video choices were very different.
So Scott says, silly Jim, naps are for kids. You guys got to get on the nap thing. It's amazing. Getting a lot of congratulations from people. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. So here's something from, we haven't gotten to this yet, have we? Quario. So I don't know if you religious, but Jesus lived kind of like on heaven and on earth type shift. Could you possibly hypnotize someone to believe they are living in heaven on earth? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. We do similar stuff. We do similar stuff all the time for shows. I'll make them think they're Taylor Swift, which is, heaven on earth right there. So yeah.
All right. Also joining us on TikTok now, Jennifer Wood, hypnotist from Ontario. Coach Mike, also a hypnotist from Ontario. Lots of Ontario folks jumping in.
You're really pulling the Canadians in, Shawn.
Well, I think that's a chunk of my TikTok seems to want. Oregon, Ontario. They both start with an O.
Yeah.
Good.
Fearlessly Phoenixing, yeah, great points about that. About the idea about the hypnotizing someone to be the opposite sex because they could understand where their own issues arise from as our anger and hate come as a mirror. Interesting stuff. What else we got here? Salute, thank you. Still want to find it. What's we got? Oh, how is there a way to hypnotize someone to create a cue for? Here's a great thing. You can. So Quario is wondering about: is there a way to hypnotize someone to create a cue for oxytocin release? Shawn, you want to field that one?
I don't know. Do I? I would think there would be no problem creating cues for just about anything. The ability for a hypnotist to create an anchor that you can go back to, especially in the subconscious, very easy to do. What we would need is, for that oxytocin release, what is it that you want to be cued with?
Yeah, what do you want to be cute with? Exactly.
Not cute, cued.
Oh, cued. I thought you were saying cute because, oxytocin is that one where when you love somebody, it's released. So, you're looking at somebody cute, like an opposite sex or same sex or teddy bear.
Well, that could be a trigger, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But we do need something to build the anchor with, right?
Exactly. And that brings me to a story that I heard. And this was, my friend Sean Summers told me about this, and I don't remember. He probably saw it on a TikTok video, to be honest with you. But so it's an anecdote. You're probably all familiar with some of you are familiar with Charles Manson. He was considered a pretty bad guy in the 60s, 70s. He was a leader of a religious cult. Before he was a cult leader, apparently he was like a petty thief. And I can't remember the guy's name now, but he's the Hispanic or Latinx. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to. It's Mexican heritage actor who's got the, I mean, really rough looking face, and he's really big and buff. And I don't remember his name right now. He's played in a lot of. He plays gang members and prison guy and all this stuff. But apparently,
yeah, I know who you're talking about. I just can't remember his name. Danny.
he's got that. Yeah. Danny Trujillo, I think it is.
Yeah, there you go.
So apparently, Danny Trujillo back when he was more of a criminal than an actor, he was in like the local jail there, like in L.A. somewhere, and Charles Manson was in there too. But he was.
Well, that's interesting. We just lost Jim. Okay, then. We'll wait for Jim to come back to tell the rest of his story. Here, I think this is him. There we are. There we go. You're back.
We're back.
I don't know what happened to you, but you're back.
Yeah, I'm glad we're. To me, it looked like the whole world just vanished. It just everything went away. So I don't remember. So I don't know how much you heard, but anyway, it was. So Danny Trujillo is in jail with Charles Manson before he was a famous bad guy. He was a petty thief back then, or something like this. And apparently, Charlie had played around with hypnosis, and that's probably how he ended up being a cult leader, because you can use these powers for good or evil. And probably more he probably studied more the influence side of hypnosis, and that's probably where the cult leading came from. But anyway, they asked him, they said, hey, can you, there were three of them, there were three guys in the cell. There was Danny, and then another guy, and or maybe there were four. There was anyway, the three guys that were not Charles Manson asked Charles, they said, hey man, can you hypnotize us to think that we're high right now, because they've been in jail for a while, right? They had no drugs. And he goes, yeah, let's do it. So he hypnotizes them and tells them that they're on heroin. And apparently they all had three of the four had an incredible, or two of the three had an incredible experience. They even threw up, which apparently is something that goes along with heroin. Two of the three, and had this really nice experience that they described as being really awesome. So they come out of it, and they're talking about how great that was and how amazing that was. And then the other guy, this third guy, did not have a reaction. And so he goes, well, why didn't I have a reaction? Everybody's like, well, why did we have a reaction to the heroin and he didn't? And Charles asked him, he said, well, have you ever tried heroin? And he goes, no. And he's like, well, that's why, because you don't have a reference point. And so when you're talking about setting those anchors, really all those drugs, all those things, they really fit in like kind of little keyholes within us, and that's why they work. And so if you can trigger that little keyhole without the drug, you can get whatever you want. So we could definitely, I believe, kind of recreate an oxytocin release for you if you'd like at some point.
All right. Now I know which video that Scott is talking about, and yes, there is a video.
Ooh. Can we talk more about it, or is that better left unsaid?
Well, it was the captain dancing.
Oh, the captain dancing
with three women.
Oh, that was at Hypno Thoughts, wasn't it?
Yep.
That's the time.
Mostly Lisa, but
attaboy. Chicks dig a captain, right?
Well, what can I say? I'm a popular kind of guy.
Shawn, what are the kind of questions, what kind of stuff we got going on? Now, if you're just actually, let me just say, if you're just tuning in and you're noticing that Chris Jones is not here, we did not do a bait and switch. Chris Jones, a couple days ago, yesterday or day before? Anyway, he messaged us saying that he was really sorry, but he picked up a last minute gig. He apologized to us, to all of you, and he even offered to go live from backstage at the comedy club. I told him no. I don't want you to be stressed out about it. We'll catch you next time. So he will be back on March. Well, he'll be here on March 3rd. March 3rd, everybody.
Yeah.
And now take it away, Shawn.
All right. So Janaea has a question. Have you ever gone into hypnosis while reading scripts?
You mean hypnosis scripts? I'm guessing that's what she means. Yeah.
Yep, I'll make that assumption with you.
Okay. How about you, Shawn?
I have not, um, and I tend to my scripting tends to take the form of a line drawing. Basically, I'm going to start here. I'm going here, and if that doesn't work, then I'm going here. And I have more of a concept map when it's all said and done than I do an actual script. So
yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I tend to be active when it comes to that sort of thing, and instead of just reading scripts.
My first 2 years of doing professional hypnotherapy, I worked in a clinic where we were required to use scripts, although we were allowed to deviate a bit, but mostly we were supposed to kind of read the scripts. And so the great part about that is that I've memorized because some of these scripts, like for instance, if you had a weight loss client, the first session, it was always the same. It was always this one script. So I have big chunks of scripts kind of memorized. So even if I'm not if I wasn't reading a script, it's sort of still in my mind. I will sometimes use an outline. There are certain things that I want to make sure I say. So I might just make a note of that, but I don't typically use scripts anymore. I don't blame people that do, especially when they're beginning, because you don't really know what to say, and you want to make sure you get everything in there. I do find that I do kind of trance out sometimes when I'm even back when I was reading scripts or when I'm not, which is kind of interesting. I mean, I'm still sort of halfway conscious, but and this doesn't happen all the time, but I do find sometimes I kind of go there with the client as well. Yeah, good question, Janaea.
Okay, Becca's following that up with, do you tend to steer away from religious suggestions on stage?
I've never done a religious suggestion, and I don't see that I would. How about you, Shawn?
I've never performed hypnosis in a church yet that I've been aware of.
I've done shows in churches. Am I missing the question? Stay away from religious suggestions on stage. No, okay. Religious suggestions. I don't know. I mean, honestly, if I thought it was funny, I might do it, but I don't. I think there's a high risk of offending people, so I probably wouldn't do it. Speaking of offending people,
there's that guy.
Great timing.
Timing is brilliant, Brian, as always.
I even changed my display name the title to co-host emeritus, and then you were like, speaking of offending people, and I'm like, did I just come out with the double middle finger, Kevin Lapine style, or
Brian, I'm glad you could join us. It's been a train wreck so far. Save us.
Okay, so story time.
Oh, excellent.
So, Saturday night, I almost died.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I have absolutely no rational or explanation with physics that'll tell you like how the motorcycle stayed upright. So I'm coming down I-5 through Everett, and it kind of there's a spot in the freeway where it kind of S curves. Now it's kind of coming around to a left-hand bend, and I'm in the carpool lane, so far left, so inboard side. I gotta specify that for people like Becca who are overseas. They get it all backwards. And I want to change one lane over to the right. So I look over my right shoulder, check my blind spot. I turn around, and there's like a car bumper, a ladder, something. It looked gigantic right in front of me, and I'm at like 80 miles an hour. There's nowhere for me to go. Hit it dead nuts in the middle, and I just see debris everywhere in front of me, and I'm like, all right, so this is how it ends. I felt a sharp pain in my left foot, and what happened is I stood up a little bit because I was like, all right, this is going to be just beat us, delete us. And so whatever it was hit the bottom of my foot, rolled it so the top of my big toe smashed into the side of the gear shifter and snapped the little 90-degree piece off that lets me click the gears up and down. That was the only damage.
Wow.
So I'm coming home getting off the freeway, and I'm like going to downshift, and I'm like, there's nothing there. I looked down and I'm like, oh crap. So
Oh no.
it was kind of this weird V-shaped something, and I'm like, I hit it right in the middle. If I had hit it one side or the other, it would have just pivoted everything into the side of the bike, and there would be no more me. But
Dude.
yay
Wow.
for I don't know. I'm convinced that my father was like watching from above, going, "Oh shit, he did it again." Like, let's not today, my son. I know you miss me, but yeah, it's I also do have some other exciting news. I was away last week.
Yeah, you had a deadline.
Yeah, that kind of went a little bit sideways, and I think it's for a good thing.
Okay.
The VA came back, and I'm officially 100% total and permanent rated. So basically, I'm semi-retired right now.
Dude, good for you. And I don't
So-
mean, I mean that because I know you've had some struggles, and I think that's
Oh, yeah.
actually a good thing. A good thing,
Mhm.
right? Yeah.
You've been instrumental in a lot of that, in helping me be able to articulate to the powers that be.
Mhm.
And so there's just a lot of and getting that rating, it's like almost getting married. You're like, okay, now you qualify for dental, so I get my teeth fixed, so you'll see me
Yeah.
smiling a lot more.
All right.
I've got to go get ID cards and update a whole bunch of stuff. So
Wow.
all of my student loans are scheduled to be discharged, going away,
Ooh.
and hopefully in the next 24, 48 months, hopefully looking at buying a house when
Oh,
house
excellent.
prices and stuff like that. So
Fantastic. What a great outcome, Brian. And I know,
yeah,
I mean, obviously, we're always looking for the positive, but this really, it's not an equal payoff, right? But it's something.
yeah. I mean, I'm far from like being in a wheelchair or anything like that, but I'll explain it this way. With the disability rating, it's like a lot of little things, and they
Mhm.
add up.
Yeah.
So you can kind of take that analogy to success. Do a lot of little things, and that's going to make a big difference.
Oh, dude, great. That's a great analogy.
So
So true. Yeah.
but yeah, now we're gonna do a lot of stuff, probably some surgeries coming up in the next over the next probably year or two, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to. I mean, it's been a huge weight off my shoulders. It's something that I've been really working hard for the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Well, fantastic.
Yeah, how are things with you guys? I was arguing with my computer and technology, and it was like, oh, I want to update, and I'm just going to freeze.
Boy,
So-
don't you love that? It just gives you no choice. We're
Had to
gonna
give
do
it the
right.
little Fonzarelli fix. Some percussive maintenance, and
Percussive maintenance. I love that term. You always
Yeah.
have the
Oh, yeah.
best term. You always have the
I've
best
used
term.
that term for 25 years. That's what we used to do to the CRT. You get those big monitors, the big ones that used to have the cathode ray tube in there, and the picture would just flicker just enough to just drive you bonkers.
Mhm.
And you just reach around the side, and bam!
It's not so much bam. You give it an abrupt physical adjustment.
Oh, no. Bam!
Well, the language is different in Canada, Brian.
That's right.
You know, they speak it differently.
So
It's not quite it's a lot more than just a little love tap. Let's put it that way.
oh, I don't have powers. I'm
give me
laughing
powers.
laughing at Scott's comment. He says, Brian, you broke up a little bit. He goes, you had a problem keeping it up on Saturday, so hit it dead nuts in the middle. Weird V-shaped thing. And
There you go, Brian.
dear God, why was your father watching? I'm like, of course.
Always the best comments from Scott King. Hey, look, we got let's call out Paulette is watching. She says, hello, Captain Shawn and Ambassador Jim. And Awesome, Brian. Yeah, he's here now.
It
Brian,
doesn't
yeah,
say awesome,
co-host
Brian. It says a
emeritus, I
heart
think
after
this
your
is.
name.
Yeah. We're going to
All right.
disregard this comment from our frenemy, who says, "I think I'm going to have a big pineapple pizza party for all the frenemies next year at HTL." Kids these days.
You guys can all cry and bathe in each other's tears. Jim and I will be at the pool.
Indeed.
A couple of comments from TikTok coming in. First of all, everybody's glad to see that you're okay. That you were protected through all of that, Brian. So,
Oh, thank you guys.
that you're still with us. So that's good. One that did come in as a question. I just got to find it here because I typed it in. There it is. Explain the difference between clinical and stage hypnosis. What's really the difference? We had to boil it down. Jim, I think you and I talked about this on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, Brian's.
Can I take a stab at this?
Absolutely.
Go for it.
Stab away.
Okay, so the stage hypnosis is like the teaser, proof of concept, if you will. If we can get somebody up on stage in front of 100 people barking like a chicken, or pretending that they're Taylor Swift, why they would want to do that, I don't know.
You watch your mouth.
You could. There's a high degree of probability that, like, hey, maybe this person can help me quit smoking, or the idea of hypnosis can help me with weight loss or anti-anxiety, things like that. The stage is going to be more of entertainment based, and clinical is going to be solving problems.
Yeah, I mean that's a really, in a nutshell. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there goes Jim again.
I was like, and then he just dipped. He's like,
Yeah, he dipped on us once already. He'll be back.
Okay.
I'm going to take a stab at this as well, because what Jim and I were actually talking about was the contract. There's a social contract when people come on stage. The expectation is the hypnotist is going to keep me safe and not thoroughly embarrass me that I can't show my face in my town again. On the more clinical side, the contract is I'm here to listen to you and help you with what you want help with.
And money changes hands.
And then money changes hands, right? Exactly.
Mark Burris says, what's the best way to help a potential client quit smoking when they say that they really enjoy smoking? My first thought would be, okay, if you really enjoy it, why do you want to quit?
Exactly.
And then go from there.
There again, that goes to that contract. They don't want to quit. So how are you going to convince them to quit?
What do you think, Jim? Would you almost do like a reverse psychology? It'd be like, hey, if it makes you happy and brings you joy, like you shouldn't. And I would imagine they'd probably come back with, well, my wife says she's going to divorce me and I'm going to get cancer and I don't want to do this. And it's like, oh, well, it sounds like there's something there. You make them.
I tend to ask them this question. I ask it as a question. Is there a chance, is it possible that you only think you like the actual smoking, but what you really like is that hit of nicotine, which is taking away the withdrawal feeling? And for the most part, they go.
Mark actually goes on to clarify, and I appreciate the quotes. Needs to quit.
Yeah. No, I think that really, if you think about what smoking really is, I mean, they like the high, they like that thing that they get. I mean, there's no denying it. You get a nice high feeling from nicotine, especially, like that first one of the day. By your 10th or 11th one of the day, it's really about just keeping those cravings away. But I mean, you're contaminating your body. You're breathing in smoke, which is antithetical to life. So now the ritual, sometimes they like the ritual.
And that's what I was going to go to.
Yeah. And that's understandable. And so a lot of times we just have to help them find a new ritual. And I'll be honest. So when I get this, when I watch like a TV show or a movie and you got these guys like the executives, and they're in their nice suits, and they're in those big leather chairs in the club, and they've got the little tumbler of whiskey, and they got a big cigar. I go, that kind of looks cool. That looks kind of cool. But I know the whiskey's going to burn my throat. The cigar is going to have me back on cigarettes, and I'm going to hate my life. So it's not worth it to me. But I get it. I get that ritual.
Well, and then another aspect is really, what are you doing when you're smoking? You're doing a whole bunch of repetitive deep breathing.
Yep.
And then there's nicotine that's attached to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's actually been some, and if you watch any of the biohackers out there, a lot of them are saying that they actually take nicotine supplements. It's not the nicotine that's hurting you necessarily. It's the way you deliver it. I mean, of course, in certain quantities, of course, everything's bad for you. But I think the problem is it's kind of like when the Nicorette gum. Sometimes people they'll be, well, I'm going to do some Nicorette gum, and the problem is that crutch eventually. You go back, almost everybody goes back to cigarettes. And so if you've ever been a smoker, those kind of smoking, those nicotine kind of tablets, patches or something to give you that stimulant, probably not a good idea.
You start chewing the gum, then you start swallowing it.
Exactly.
And, now there was let's see.
So I'm gonna jump in here as well.
Yeah.
We're getting a little bit of a loop going on here as well with people saying yes. So definitely want to quit. Not sure that what the process is, and for most of us, when we're working with people who are smoking, one of the very first things we're going to ask you is, why did you start? Because that reason tells us a lot about why you're still doing it. And then, as we get into the process, we'll be asking you, which part of you, where is it that you actually want to, what part of you wants to start smoking a cigarette at any given time? And then we can start working, our suggestions in to have that part release that desire. So, somebody in the TikTok here just said boredom, stress. Lots of people say it was because the in crowd was outside, they stood outside the school.
Yep.
And I wanted to be part of the in crowd. Now there's no in crowd, right? But I'm still doing it. So some people say it was a rebellious thing. My parents told me not to pick up their cigarettes, and I did.
Now we got a couple of great questions. Forgive me if I butcher the name. Is it Quario? Quario. So interesting question. It says, what's the best way to use hypnotism in music? Asking because he's a music producer. They're a music producer, and they want to experiment with themselves and their friends.
Nice.
Actually, that'd be a great question for Scott to answer.
and then there was a follow-up that, how does peer pressure interact with hypnotism, if it does? And I'm going to go out on a limb, and I would probably say the peer pressure is more for the stage or comedy.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
when you see it working on the person next to you, you go, oh wow, it's always interesting. For the music, dude, there are so many applications for that. So many. You can get better at playing your instrument. You can use hypnosis to become to dive in and get more creative. You could put yourself into a state before you play or before you write music so that you become more creative. With music, I would say the options are, just limitless. What you could do.
One of the ways that I read that question or interpreted it was with the experimentation. Are you looking for, to add some type of like a subliminal message or give your listeners an experience where they kind of zone out or trance out or whatever? And if that's the case, be very, very careful. You do not want them rocking out, zoning out, and driving or doing things. There could be some liability implications there. Again, I don't know what you were meaning by experimenting with it. So we'll probably see an answer to that question here shortly.
Yeah, clarify that if you'd like. Definitely.
Let's see. Now, we got great questions tonight.
Yeah, so Shawn and I decided we're going to tell people that Chris Jones is on next week too, and the next week, and then he's not going to be here.
So of course this is a total Scott question, but a legitimate one at that. What's the weirdest or most unexpected suggestion someone has ever requested during a hypnosis session?
Huh. Well, for me, I had someone here, kind of an interesting story. I had someone that messaged me and said they wanted me to make them do things against their will. And I was like, I don't do that stuff. Sorry. And about 6 months later, they write me again. I want to be hypnotized to do things I don't want to do. I'm like, I don't do that. Another 6 months goes by. Finally, I'm like, fine. It's and I don't remember what I quoted. I said, but it was something. This was several years ago. It was a ridiculous amount of money, and I said 4 sessions, this amount, and I sent him an invoice. Here it is. Basically like pay up or leave me alone, and they paid it, and then I was stuck.
So I want to be hypnotized to do things against my will is kind of the antithesis of hypnosis, because you won't do things that you're not willing to do. Now, I could also see that in the thing of like, hey, make me do the things that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Case in point, I don't want to do laundry. I don't like doing dishes. I don't, I do them, but
right.
It's like I don't want to, procrastinate.
Well, you make a good point, and but here's the thing. So we can't necessarily make people do things that they wouldn't morally do, or even that they don't want to do. That they're not on board with. Sort of. We can get people, and we use by using trickery. Really, is a very easy way to do it. Now, here's the big question, though.
Within ethical boundaries, of course.
Right, exactly. And this is the thing. I'm trying to figure out how am I going to do this in an ethical way, right? Oh, he wanted me to, because one of his things when we first met was he wanted me to make him give me money. I'm like, well, I already did. You already gave me money. So boom, done. But the other part of this is, if you are paying me to get you to do things you don't want to do, aren't you kind of already on board with doing things that you don't want to do? Right? So it's kind of a mixed up thing. So what I ended up doing
was he strangely attracted to you? Because there's women that like more than likely on the dark web or even on OnlyFans where they're like, oh, you send me a bunch of money to, I'll show you pictures of my feet or something like that.
Well, I do believe there was a partial element of that. And when the individual wanted to meet in person because they were going to be in the States, the answer was a vehement no. I do not meet with my clients, which is not necessarily true. But in that case, it was true. I didn't want to end up, who knows? But probably
not without a complete criminal background check.
Yeah,
and
perfectly harmless person, I'm sure. But what I ended up doing is I did some conditioning, and the conditioning was, I had them take pictures around their town, send them to me, and then forget they did it. And so it was really interesting because I would get these photos, and then a while later, the person would message me and go, "Why did I send these photos? I don't understand what happened." And I'm like, "Just listen to your recording." And the final test was because the person really wanted me to have them give money against their will. So what I had them do, the final thing was, and it was complicated. I had to work through this and figure this out in my mind. So because I'm not really going to have them send me $1,000, right? Because that's very unethical. Even though, sort of, they did want me to do it, but what I did was I had them I said, you're going to go to your local post office. You're going to buy a $25 money order. You're going to make it out to yourself and you're going to send it to yourself and you're going to forget that you did that. And lo and behold, a few days later, sends me a picture of the opened envelope going, what happened? Why did I send this to myself? And when I said in the memo section, you'll say something like the hypnosis worked or something like that. So it was an interesting experience for sure.
So we've got a follow up to that here, actually off of TikTok, and that is, so how does that work on stage then? As we just said, we can't actually make you do, except we can make you do. And the reason is the social contract. When people come to shows and they volunteer, they're saying, I'm willing to be a participant in whatever is about to unfold here. And hypnosis, of course, is the vehicle that helps them loosen up to the point that they actually make that their reality.
And the other element of a social contract is, and I'm gonna kind of borrow Kevin Lapine on this, is on the social contract aspect. If you're on stage and you're like, I'm going to get this person to do something that I know that they don't want to do or that they're not willing to consent to, you have just proven to everybody in that venue that you're a predator.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you're likely there's a high likelihood that you're going to get sued. And that action is going to spread like wildfire and you will probably never work again.
Well, and think about it like this, because I always find that question a little bit strange, like at a public venue, or even at a home. But if there's a bunch of people there, what exactly do you think that we're going to make you do that the people in the audience wouldn't go, hey, stop, don't do that?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if I tell somebody you're going to get butt naked on the count of 3, somebody out in that audience is going to go, whoa, that's my girlfriend, my wife, my husband, my, somebody's going to say something. They're not going. So I do find it interesting that people are concerned about that on the stage when there's a whole audience there of witnesses watching, and enforcers, guards, so to speak.
And also when you're on stage, if it's like, hey, you're gonna, you're 1, 2, 3, you're gonna open your eyes and you are gonna realize that I'm not wearing any pants.
Yeah.
It's so outrageous and hyperbolistic. The audience and everybody can see that you are fully clothed, and it's the person who's having the reaction. So there's nothing that's really ethically violent. You're not violating any ethics, really. It's just someone's going to go, God, that looked weird. And then it's going to be like, okay, at the end of it, all suggestions are erased and you had just a wonderful time. Okay, cool. Like, you're not harming anybody. It's just the same thing with like, you're hot, you're cold, you smelled the best smell and then the foulest odor. It's the person that's coming next to you. Oh, now it's you. And you're just like, okay. It's made to generate a laugh versus humiliate somebody.
Yeah. Because what kind of show is that going to be when everybody walks out going, wow, what a jerk? They're not going to want to rebook you.
And the social contract really kind of begins when you either decide to buy tickets or you walk into the show. Like, this is going to be comedy. There's probably going to be some silly stuff. We're going to laugh. We are not to be taking all of this stuff seriously, with the exception of any of the safety rules and instructions that are specifically given.
Yeah.
And
all right. Mark says we need to start a new website called Hypno Fans.
I'm
Nice.
trademarking that, Mark.
I like that. Hypno fans.
Becca's got a great question. How well do subliminals work in audios or videos, or does it vary from person to person? Scott? Let's see.
Well, I would say so here's the thing. As far as I know, the jury is still out on subliminal messaging. There's been contrasting research, and of course they're always updating it. The last I had read, it was kind of, in some studies they say yes, but mostly they say no. So, but it depends. Like if we're talking subliminal at the delta level, when somebody's in deep sleep, that's generally recognized as no. The information's not getting to them. But remember, when you're asleep, for instance, you're going, the brain waves are going up, and you come up into theta a little bit, maybe even go into alpha because you go to the bathroom, and you come back, maybe you wake up for a couple of minutes, you don't remember that. And so if, for instance, you're playing some kind of subliminal messaging through, it could still seep in. And then during the daytime, I don't see why not, why it couldn't. I always tell people, and I'll put in some double voice and sort of subliminal type stuff in my recordings. I mean, maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't, but it doesn't hurt to have it there.
I mean, and speaking of subliminal stuff, like I've got, it works on animals. There's Sammy who's passed out right now, but if I went, Sammy, who's got drugs? He just got up and ran to the door. Now he's not barking, but he's staring intently at the front door right now. And here, the boy. So, let's see. Becca said, Brian, I remember a while back you said you were making hypnosis audios. Did you ever get them finished? They are still, I had to put that project on hold, but I did talk to Scott today, and there's some stuff on the horizon probably in the next, I'd say 3 to 4 weeks that we might be getting something launched.
Nice.
So stay tuned for that. That's something I'm excited about.
You'll find those offered here, by the way, also wherever else Brian does it. He's welcome to put them here too. So, stay tuned for that. I'm not
Scott
sure
has
what.
Great answer.
I just want to say real quick, Lori Donnelly, didn't see you there. Swooping Angels. Not sure what that refers to, but I like that.
Brian's experience.
Ah, right.
Oh yeah, definitely. Someone's working overtime. Scott, I'm assuming this is to answer Becca's question. Subliminals are extremely effective in my experience in both audio and video format. So I'm anticipating that Scott and I will be working some of that into the audio recordings.
Nice.
Lori says, some of us should not be on stage. Lori, I feel attacked. No, all in good fun.
Was that, if that's a legitimate thing, was she making a joke or something, or was that?
No, I just saw it as I was scrolling the comments, and I went, my self-deprecating humor.
I see. You know what, Lori, when you say that, and I wonder if you're saying that about yourself, because I hear this from people quite a bit. And I remember a friend of mine took some stage hypnosis training. I know they did a show. I saw they posted a show. I asked him about it later, and the person said, "Oh no, I'll never do another one. I'm not like you guys." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And they said, "Oh, I was really scared." And I just wanted to give them a big hug and say, "Welcome to the club. We're all scared, or most of us." Most hypnotists, most performers that I talked to started off scared. We did it scared. And so if that's what you're talking about, you just need repetition. You do it a bunch of times. I mean, it's just like anything else, roller skating, anything. It's going to feel uncomfortable at first, but it's worth it. I mean, I wouldn't go back. I was terrified to go on stage when I first started 30 years ago, and I would not go back. Changed my life completely. So happy I did it. Quario, yes, you can be a hypnotist apprentice if you'd like to work with me. Jim at Jim Kellner, Jim at jimkellner.com. Shawn is Shawn at
skhypnosis.com.
skhypnosis.com. Brian is Brian Bay on Facebook. Look us up.
Scott's asking, could hypnosis theoretically be used to make vegetables taste like candy? Scott, you shut your whore mouth.
Or even like
I am not giving up bacon and red meat.
Scott,
would this actually change someone's eating habits long term? And just like that, Scott
gets blocked.
Yeah.
Brian is triggered and reported. Scott,
offended and other adjectives as well.
So I've gone to dinner with Brian at Fogo de Chao, the Brazilian steakhouse, and literally all he had was beef. Okay, that's understandable. There's a lot of great beef there. We went to a Mongolian grill.
It was a Brazilian steakhouse. There was no part of salad bar or any of that garbage in there.
I don't think he even had any rolls or potatoes or anything. It was just meat. And then we went to Mongolian grill where you get to choose some meat, some vegetables, all of that. No, meat.
That was it. Just a big pile of grilled meat.
Don't you shame me for my keto-friendly
That's right.
food choices.
That's right. His keto-friendly food
There you
choices.
go. Becca's telling you right now.
Eat your greens. He'll eat greens if you smother them in cheese. It's the only way.
Shredded cheese and bacon bits. I will have lettuce and maybe like raw spinach, but that's about it.
I'll tell you, Scott, you know what? Interestingly, I can remember, and I've told the story before. So if you've heard it before, everybody, I'm sorry. But back about 15 years ago, when I was, 100 pounds overweight, and I was eating just garbage all the time instead of just occasionally, like I do now. In fact, I'm thinking about some garbage I'm going to have later. But I remember sitting down with a big giant bowl of ice cream, and I'm not talking about I'm talking about 4 or 5 serving bowl where it's heaped over. And I remember thinking in that moment, there was this one specific moment. I thought, I can never lose weight because I could never not have ice cream every single day. That's what I said to that was the message I had. And I actually have not had ice cream, and I couldn't even tell you the last time I had ice cream, especially not real ice cream. I've had some of the Halo Top and some of the low carb stuff within probably the last maybe 6 months or so. But really, I went years, didn't even have that kind of stuff. So you really can change the taste. Also, just this is the thing that I kept telling myself: food is fuel. Food is fuel. Food is fuel. And it got to the point where I would just make up a big smoothie full of vegetables and just eat it, just drink it down. Didn't matter what it tasted like. I was just consuming it.
Jim, you reframe your thought process. You just have to go, hey, the fuel tank for the sex machine just got gigantic.
Exactly. Brian gets it.
So Corey was going back in that you could tell, like, sound engineer type thing. Which brainwave frequency is subliminal?
Which frequency is subliminal messages most effective at?
Oh, which brain? Okay, yeah. What frequency?
Scott, jump in with an answer for him. Drop your website in there too, Scott. Sounds like that might be somebody that might be a good candidate for your course. If you're one of your new courses, I think you got rid of the old one.
Becca is saying, I don't know how you don't like broccoli. What's wrong with you? I'm American and I believe in freedom. I mean, it's...
Becca, let me tell you a story about Americans and vegetables.
Ooh.
So we visited this little state called Texas. And
tiny little state.
It's a tiny little state compared to Canada. Anyway, my ex-wife had asked, somebody where all the vegetables were, and their only answer was, well, we fed them to the cattle.
There you go.
So you're eating the vegetables as long as you're eating the meat.
You're eating Brian's food. That's what you're eating when you eat broccoli.
Yeah. Why would I? Far be it from me to deny those other, plant-based animals.
Right. So Becca wanted to hear my British accent. So there you are, Becca. There's my British accent. Now I can actually do a more posh accent if you'd like, or I can go Cockney, whichever you like, Becca. You just let me know whatever you'd like, and then I can go a bit down under. Yeah, that's right. I can go down under.
Hypnosis with Jason Statham.
And I can even do Canadian, eh?
I don't know. You were breaking up there.
Scott's got
to. You need to add a little more maple syrup to that, Jim.
Happy to.
Scott says he's a secondhand vegan. I'm using that.
Scott is so witty. I mean, that guy has the best stuff.
Wait, so Paulette says 15 kilohertz above for subliminal messages.
Fantastic.
Let's see.
Right.
That's
George has a question.
Good want to quit.
What are your favorite techniques of hypnosis? So you use the bigger hammer. And you just conk somebody out. Jim has a really good one that he likes to take brand new apprentices that are studying underneath him and lay him down in the streets of a college town.
Just pat myself on the back there. Not right on the formerly chewed gum, but very
in
near
between
it.
in between the chewed gum and the gutter where somebody may or may not have either thrown up or urinated in as recently as 12 hours prior.
So as far as hypnosis techniques, it really depends on the client. If I'm talking to most clients will respond to like a progressive relaxation type induction, and that looks like that can come across in a lot of different ways. So if you hear somebody talking about walking on the beach or waves of relaxation going through your body, just anything where you're just kind of progressively getting more and more relaxed. Maybe now your legs are relaxed, your arms are relaxed, and that works for most people. But if they're more analytical, then I'll tend to go with something that's going to keep their mind moving, because the worst thing, and even people with ADHD can respond well to this, is you really want to, instead of having them try to quiet their mind, you want to actually have them use their mind to the point where they give up. And so one of my favorites, and you can look this up, it's by Terrence Watts. It was the very first analytical induction I learned. It's from Terrence Watts. He wrote this. It's called, and you can type this in, 7 plus or minus 1. 7 plus or minus 1. And it's based on the idea that, according to the phone companies, so the reason that our phone numbers are the numbers that they are, that whatever it is, 9 digits or whatever, most people can remember that many digits, plus or minus 1. And the whole idea is you get them thinking about, and now you're thinking about the warmth in the room and how how your body feels against there. Mostly now I kind of do a combination of both, especially if I'm doing a general one, like for YouTube or an MP3, so I can cover all the bases. But I would say I don't have any special protocols that I follow. I've always found that, really hypnosis works fantastic. I know there's a lot of different protocols out there. I don't know the reason for them, because I just always want to tell people, just hypnotize them. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Just special techniques you like?
I tend to be a little direct when it comes to induction and any kind of change work that I do with clients one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
I've found over time that I'm able to still get the point across. I don't necessarily have to be real flowery about it,
mm-hmm.
which is good for me, because even as an English teacher, my writing was always so straightforward that they always sent it back and said, no, you need to make this flow a little more. No, I don't. Point form. Change. Done.
Yeah. How about you guys out there listening? Do you have a favorite technique you like, a favorite protocol, something like that?
When in doubt, you just give it the old Haktua. And
Haktua. There you go. Yeah, we should get Darren Brown on the show, Becca. Why don't you give him a call? Let us know.
Becca says, Jim, you got to say, all right, mate, weather's a bit shit today, isn't it?
All right, mate, the weather's a bit shit today, isn't it?
No,
throwing the word wanker.
You got to sound more like Grant when you're going to say that.
We should do a Jim and Grant side by side comparison, and then make Grant do an American accent.
Oh, I've never actually heard him do an American accent. He said like a word or two, but that's about it. Yeah.
And the easy stuff, right?
Yeah. I was trying. I can't really do Grant's. It's so subtle. Let me just say.
Grant Saunders.
Grant Saunders. Yeah. There's a couple of words he says that I find really like, what are you saying? Yeah, I can't. I'd have to work on that. It's such a kind of a subtle accent, it sounds like to me.
And then let's see, Scott answering Quario's question. He says many options exist about what the best brainwave frequency is for that is best for subliminal. I don't think it matters much. I'm not a fan of pitching subliminals into the ultrasonic range. And then Scott says, when Jim's accent is better than Grant's.
Which accent is that, Scott? Is that the American accent?
So,
And I'm Grant Saunders. I'm Grant Saunders. Welcome to the show today. No, I sound a little more Irish, I think.
Yeah.
I was going to say that's a little
there to be Grant.
Yeah, less leprechaun.
Churrascaria. Yes, Mark. The beef and all the beef. Well, we've got so many, got so much great stuff here.
Let's see, Mark is turning into Socrates. When the benefit of the outcome is greater than the current behavior, change happens.
You know, and if you're a hypnotist, connect up with Mark because he runs the, I think it's a Healthy Life Centers, and he has lots of referrals for folks that like to do non-smoking. So hit him up, you know, and he can give you some referrals. So Mark's not actually a hypnotist, but he works with a lot of hypnotists. He also helps with their social media, that kind of a thing. So, you know, that's a great answer.
Not just chuffed to bits that you mentioned it.
All right, I'm going to need Becca to translate that to English. I have no idea what in the hell that means.
You know what's funny? I used to think chuffed meant, it seems like you'd be upset. You know, you're pissed off or something, but it actually is good. It's a good thing. You're happy about it. Mark, yeah, that's exactly it. When the benefit of the outcome is greater than the current behavior, that's when change happens. So, you know, that's why we see a lot of people, they walk in their doctor's office and the doctor says, "Oh, you've got lung cancer." And they never smoke another cigarette, right? Or you've gotten diagnosed with emphysema. Oh, now I know, because the benefit, you know, outweighs it and it's very tangible. Problem with smoking and a lot of these things is it's not a, you know, you do it and then you have the response, you know, it's a delayed response, just like diabetes, those kind of things. You know, you eat that cake, you're not going to have your foot cut off for 20 years. So you don't feel it right away. So that's the problem. But when you can really, you know, like in hypnosis, we can do this, we can make that very tangible for them. We can bring that home to them. And I mean, even if you wanted to, and I do in my smoking sessions, I will include some kind of negative suggestions, things like, you know, it's gonna taste like you're smoking on a tailpipe, those kinds of things, or taking them down. You've got two roads. You've got one that leads to, you know, all the bad stuff and one that leads to the good stuff. It can be very helpful then.
So if I wax poetic and say, and I took the road less traveled by.
Yes. All right, mate.
So question from Yvonne here on TikTok asking, how long can you be hypnotized for?
How long? Well, many people say that we're actually in hypnosis and hypnotists actually break you out of hypnosis. So there is that theory because we're kind of just going through life basically on autopilot, right? Most of the things we do, most of our thoughts, our behaviors, our attitudes are on autopilot. So you could think of it that way. Otherwise, I don't really know I think that what would happen is somebody at the most, I would think maybe 8 or 10 hours, because eventually the body goes, it's time to wake up, you know, and that's probably what would happen. It would take some work to keep somebody at that state of them staying in like alpha and theta and not just dropping down into delta and falling asleep. I'm gonna say I don't really know. Do you guys have an idea?
Well, I've seen medical procedures done with hypnosis as the anesthetic, and they've taken a couple of hours.
Yeah, good point.
Also, some dental procedures, and I don't recommend going to look at those ones because those ones you can't really unsee or unhear. Crunch, crunch.
And if somebody comes out of those, like, I'm sorry, give me the pharmaceuticals. I want the happy gas.
Well, and also the specialty now that's been trademarked as hypnobirthing. If you think about it, most on average, most women are in labor for a number of hours. So those post-hypnotic suggestions would be working all that time to help them manage through the manage through the pain of the actual birth. So
I would imagine that something like that would have to almost have like, I don't want to say like a maintenance thing where somebody's right there kind of being like, okay, here comes another contraction and boom, you're feeling
and boom,
relaxed. You're going to
like
allow
that.
to boot Jim off of there. And things like that, rather than just a single suggestion of like, your birth is going to be pain-free. And they're like, okay, cool. And then that first big one hits and it's like, somebody lied to me, and a whole nother human comes out of the woman's face. It,
I'm having
let's
all
see,
kinds of internet issues tonight. 3 times
There
now.
we go. No, we're here.
Has anybody ever utilized gamma waves?
Ooh, that's good.
Are you
I believe
rebuilding the Death Star or something? Like,
No, I was going to say I believe Dr. Bruce Banner was one of the first to use gamma waves.
Well, so gamma waves, we typically think of those, according to, from what I've read in the research, is those are accomplished by people like monks who spend decades really kind of refining the meditation to reach that. I don't really, I do a lot of just basic hypnosis and stuff. I don't really see a need, or I don't really have the desire to go in deeper and kind of look into these things. Maybe why not? I mean, why not? Why couldn't we get someone's brain waves to go, faster, slower, whatever? So sure.
And there he goes again.
Is Jim still in Arizona?
No, he is in Washington, so I'm not sure what's
okay.
going on there. Mentioned he was having some internet issues, but Fearlessly Phoenixing was asking, does that work as a prior or during the birthing? It would be nice if you were able to have the processes in place prior to when you go into the delivery room, because at that point your mind is either going to be focused on the pain or it's going to be focused on managing as the hypnotist is directed. So
right. No, that makes sense. And then Scott says gamma frequencies are great if you want to get really, really hyper. And someone says, yeah, they love mixing gamma waves and alpha, or beta and gamma for binaural. And let's see, what's Becca saying? Isn't it said that watching movies, studying, or anything that takes your focus is a state of trance? So are we all hypnotized now watching you? And what brainwave are we in at the moment?
Becca, I'm sorry. I know it's my eyes because everybody keeps saying they're deep pools of chocolate, and people get lost in them.
So if you guys are in trance watching me, that's the ADD level. It's alpha, alpha, delta.
Alpha, alpha.
Oh, wait, no, alpha, delta, delta. Never mind. That's the dyslexic.
So hey, we're getting close to the time we're going to be wrapping up soon. So we got to do a couple of things, and then we got to do some hypnosis. As you all know, we have recommitted to hypnosis on the show, live hypnosis through the screen. We've had some situations where hypnosis was not really done. Maybe other things were done, or very short ones. Tonight we're going to do some actual real hypnosis through the screen, and so go ahead and start putting down what you'd like us to do. If you'd like fun with hypnosis, or if you'd like us to do something specific, please put that in the comments, and we will be happy to do that. Guys, I'm going to take a product spotlight.
Yeah.
Right. Wrong way. Oops. All right. Hey, so a couple of weeks ago, I talked about this, and it didn't quite go through. So I want to What happened? Hold on. So we had a guest on Hypnosis Hero a couple of weeks ago by the name of Guzalia Davis. She's a fantastic hypnotist. She does a lot of really deep work, spiritual work. She's a shaman as well as a hypnotherapist, and she does a lot of teaching and group programs. So reach out to her. She also has put out this fantastic gratitude journal. It's 30 days to a more positive outlook, and I just want you to see that right there. As we know, as hypnotists, whatever we focus on in life, we tend to get more of. And that's why if you're going through a really tough time in life, things just keep getting worse and worse and worse oftentimes. Now, they really could be actually getting worse and worse, but sometimes we're just focused on that. That's the problem, is we really are just focused on all those things that are going wrong instead of the things that are going right.
And we're back. Apparently, Jim's internet cut out on him again. All right. Let's see. Okay. Sounds like he's back. There you are. Nope. There you are.
It's those gamma waves. All right.
That's what I'm thinking.
Try it again. All right. So sorry if you're seeing this again, but we had Guzalia Davis on the show a couple of weeks ago. We didn't get her book highlighted, and I do want you to take a look at it. Look her up. She's a fantastic therapist. We had her on Hypnosis Hero. We tend to get more out of life what we're looking for. So if you're having a lot of bad stuff going on in your life, it really can help if you'll start focusing on the positive things. And even if it's something as small as the smile from a child, or a friendly looking dog or something like that. The more that you really focus on that, the more you're going to see in your life. And you really can get to a point where you're just filtering out all the negative, all the garbage. And so using a journal like this, the gratitude journal from Guzalia Davis, that help you to find that focus. Because, every day you're going to be looking for positive things. A lot of people are out there trying to find 3 things to be grateful for every day, those kind of things. It can be so helpful. I hope you'll give it a try, especially as we're going through this time of year. It's December now here in Seattle. Things are getting gloomy. People are starting to feel down. Well, I pretty much feel down year round here because it just rains all the damn time. But it'll be really helpful for you. So check that out. I hope you enjoy it. And let us know if you like the stuff that we talk about. I also want to show you, this was sent to me by Goose Coo, and my good friend Brian Bay will attest to this. A couple of weeks ago, we had a power outage, and here in the Pacific Northwest, we often have power outages because we have lots of beautiful tall trees. And when the wind blows, those beautiful tall trees, they tend to fall down. Now, I'm a sucker for power banks. I love power banks. I was able to just use my power bank to power up my phone. And as long as I've got a phone, I've got a fireplace, I go a long time without power. Well, a couple days max. Let's not get crazy. But also I'm on the road a lot. So I'm on airplanes. You may look at Jim and go, wow, that guy's probably really organized. Believe it or not, I'm not very organized. And you also may be thinking, well, Jim, why don't you just use some hypnosis to get better at being organized? Because my list of faults is so long, people, it's going to be a while before I get to organization on my list of things I'm fixing with hypnosis. So what I'm trying to say is I'll get to a show and I'll think everything's powered up. Nope, the iPad will be at like 10%. My phone will be at 20%. Something else will be at 10%. So I always have some power banks with me because sometimes you can't find an outlet. And this is such a good one. I love the feel of this one. It's very solid feeling, and it's also pretty small. So it goes right in my backpack, and you can see it's got a nice display. Tells you how much power is left, 79%. It's got this little holder here. So if you want to clip this on your backpack, you can do that. I had to pull it out of my backpack because that's where I keep it. Now, one of my favorite things about this one is, look at that. You plug it into the wall to charge it. Okay. I have a lot of these that you have to you have to use a little wire that's connected, and they always get broken, or you've got to use a different wire to attach it. Nope, on this one, it's built in. You'll see you've got a USB out, so I can, when I want to charge my Apple Watch, I just use this. I charge it right into there, plug it right in. It's regular USB. It's also got an input there for USB-C. So if you want to charge it up that way, you can. You just take your charging block and attach this and plug it in. And then you've got a USB-C, which I can use for my iPhone 15. USB-C, or most devices now use the C. I've also got a 10 here that I use for video, oftentimes as a backup video for shows, my comedy hypnosis shows. It's got a lightning attachment as well. So check that out as well. It's a great piece of kit, as Grant Saunders would say. And then if you check there, you'll see the clothes I'm wearing, and you'll see the if you like them, you can get them. And then also the equipment that I use. That's all outlined here on the live as well. And now it's time to get back to the show. I'm just waiting for somebody to see one of those and hire me to be a spokesperson for, something, whatever.
Well, you're already an ambassador, so a brand ambassador would be next on the list, would it not?
Dude, that's what I'm talking about. I'm already an ambassador. You guys, by the way, you don't have to bow, but you can.
We don't even curtsy anymore in Starfleet.
Please don't curtsy.
You're not going to start with that kiss the ring shit, are you?
Yeah. Kiss the ring.
So, Jim, you mentioned that it rains all the time. Becca said it rains all the damn time. Tell me about it. And my solution is come to Saskatchewan. It's one of the sunniest places on the earth.
Wow.
It doesn't rain all the damn time in Washington. We had a beautiful summer.
It rains all the damn time except when Brian's driving his bike.
Riding a bike. We had all in all, I think we had a great year. I mean, we had our bits where weather was less than favorable, but I think all in all, it's been wonderful. I mean,
it hasn't been the worst year.
It was a beautiful day yesterday.
Brian,
hardly a cloud in the sky. It was just cold, and I heard the songs of my people riding by the house, and I'm like, I can't make the bike go right now.
Brian, my reticular activating system is searching for the rainy days. That's all I see. I need some hypnosis.
Yeah. Focus on the positive.
Yeah.
You're using all your own words against you. This is not fair to you.
I'm so wisdomous. I should start using my wisdom.
That's
a Joey line. That's a Joey Tribbiani. I can't believe you don't know that one.
Say that one more time, a little slower.
Wisdomous.
Wisdomous. That sounds like you missed the toilet bowl and be like, hey, a wisdomous on the floor.
I was gonna say, well, if you wouldn't have said Joey Tribbiani, I would have said President Bush Jr.
Oh, well, there's a good one too. Yeah, absolutely.
He came up with some really interesting words.
He did indeed.
Oh, and some sayings. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, something not going to fool me again. He was. When it comes to articulation, I think he was like the preamble to Joe Biden.
Nice.
And then we got spoiled with Barack Obama. I mean, as much as I didn't agree with him on a lot of his policies, like he's an eloquent speaker. He
was a very eloquent speaker for sure.
And then Bill Clinton was just the silver-tongued devil.
Oh, boy, he could talk you out of your drawers.
and talk a woman onto a cigar. Who said that?
Who said that? My labor was 15 minutes. Oh, okay. She's talking about her pregnancy. So let's look at these. Let's see. That takes your focus. So yeah, let's start doing some hypnosis, guys. What do you think?
Sounds
Yeah.
good. I'm going to put the banner up, of course. Jim, you
So
can tell everybody who's listening about
guys, don't watch, don't drive or ride a motorcycle or a bike or anything. Roller skate, chop onions while we're doing the hypnosis part. And really, if you're sitting in a chair like I think all three of us are, like kind of an office chair or something, you might want to move to a recliner or maybe lay down on the bed or something, because if you get really zoned out in the hypnosis, you might just fall right off your chair, and we will not be responsible for your injuries should they occur. Although, if you should suffer an injury, you will remember it as the most wonderful experience that you've ever had, until you remember to forget it all by completely forgetting to remember it. And the only request we've had is giggle juice from Scott, and we've had hand
No, we
movements or
yeah.
something to look at, and lots of fascination. Pretty please.
Lots of
I want to go
fractionation.
deep.
Fractionization. That's where you.
Yes, fractionation. Yes.
That's where you take somebody down, bring them back up, down, up and down, up and down, and it just kind of
Absolutely
does that stuff.
Brian, would you like to start us off, since you're a big fan? That's the
Oh, dude, I'm gonna defer to two gentlemen that are far more experienced than I am.
Where would you like us to go find them?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, let the records reflect that those were his words, not mine.
Number one, you called. You said something about
the question is Brian equating our experiences to the fact that we don't have as much hair on the top of our head as he does?
He would never do that. He would never.
Come on, you use your wisdomus.
It's wisdom. Brian, in that context, it would be wisdomousness.
Wisdomousness.
Yes, please.
Multiple wisdoms. Your wisdomai.
Exactly. Thank you for catching on, Brian. It's about time. Okay.
So when did you get back into Washington?
Oh Lord, I don't know. It's been a week, 2 weeks. I honestly don't know at this point, Brian. I'm really pretty confused about dates, and I think it's 2 weeks. I think so.
Yeah, we missed you on Lodge on Tuesday.
I was back in town for Tuesday. It's true.
Okay.
I was just tired, and it was rainy, I think. In my mind, it was raining.
I forgot my pants. I was having a bad wiener day.
Can we call out sick for that?
What's that?
Can we call out sick for that?
I don't know. It depends on if your boss is going to buy it.
Hey, hey, Shawn, go ahead.
We got another question.
Okay.
My question is: do these men have wives, and do they hypnotize them?
Great question. My wife doesn't even understand what I do. My wife is from Vietnam. She's been here about 5 years, maybe 6. I met her 4 years ago, right? Something like that. She's even been to shows. She's watched some videos. No clue. She has to tell her friends in Vietnam it's something with psychology. She did come to a show recently,
She is making you look like a god.
Oh yeah, totally.
You're practically a psychologist, Jim. You're this close to a doctorate.
This close. Ambassador today, doctor tomorrow. So no, I don't use hypnosis. Now I've used hypnosis with significant others in the past, and no, not for anything maybe fun, but to help them with different things that were going on in their life. Why not? Shawn, how about you, buddy?
I actually, my ex-wife was my practice partner when I was learning. So that was a long time ago, 2013-ish. So, and beyond that, no, not really.
Cool.
Lori says 37 years for me to keep my hubby hypnotized all the time.
Brilliant.
I'm
assuming, Lori, that's how the dishes get done.
Exactly. Brilliant.
I'm like trading spousal duties for other spousal duties. That's just marriage. And as a family law paralegal with reformed with over a decade of experience, I can definitively say that marriage is the leading cause of divorce. And like me, I also got issued an ex-wife with all of my military gear way back when in another life. And people ask why divorce is so outrageously expensive. And my answer to that is it is worth every penny.
Gladly pay double.
She lives on the polar opposite side of the country. And Jim, I can tell you, like, I sleep like a baby. Like people go, what do you do? I enjoy the quiet.
Enjoy the quiet.
And the harmony in my life and things like that.
Oh,
I just have to
Brian,
worry about a motorcycle killing me and other drivers on the road. It's less stressful.
You're making it sound really good, Brian. Stop talking. I'm like, oh, silence. Wow, what's that like? I'm kidding. If you're watching.
Silence is what happens after the popcorn maker is done.
So Lori's husband is also a hypnotist. Lori, I don't think I've met your husband. I didn't see. Was he at Michigan? And I think we've seen each other at different conferences. I don't know that I've ever met him.
And more importantly, will they be in Las Vegas in January?
Indeed. Will they be in Vegas in January for Performing Hypnosis Summit? Chris Jones just signed on to that, although his track record's not doing so great so far. We hope he'll be there. I'm sure he'll be there.
Scott King says he sleeps like a baby, wakes up every 2 hours crying. Yes, but crying for different reasons, Scott.
Well, if you pooped your diaper, you'd cry too.
That depends.
Oh, God, this is such
is it late enough to where we're like not a family show anymore? Because I can explain to Scott exactly why I'm crying.
Keep it on the up and up, because TikTok will ban me if we waver a little too far.
So, what was I going to say? Scott King says that he hypnotizes his wife all the time. She probably hypnotizes him too. She's a hypnotist as well. Shawn, do you have your pocket watch handy?
Good question.
Where's mine at? I don't remember where I put mine. I usually have it in my backpack for shows, but I don't know. I must have taken it out or something. Because I think it'd be fun to start off with a traditional style hypnosis induction, and let's do some eye fractionation. So if you want to start us off with some, and Shawn, here's the thing too. This is what I was thinking about. When we did the hypnosis, I believe it was yesterday or day before. We're kind of worried about stepping on each other, but I don't think we have to worry about that because it'll just kind of create a double voice. So if you're talking, if I'm talking or you're talking or Brian's talking, let's just try to talk over each other.
Yeah, just like we did with Scott. That confusion adds an element of. Yeah,
I think it'll be good.
So that's what I found.
So again, please pull over if you're driving or listen to this later. Be sure and bookmark this page so that you can find it again.
Here, Shawn, you jump in the middle with the pocket watch. How tripped out would people be if he just reached over and then I was like, okay, I'll grab it, and then a pocket watch.
That would be sweet.
Do that again, Jim, because just as my arm was going that way, your hand came out.
Yeah.
It looked like I reached all the way around Brian.
All right, guys.
The thought of the two of you guys reaching behind me terrifies me. That's why I wake up screaming every 2 hours.
And sleep. All right, guys. We're doing the hypnosis now, so please sit down, lie down, relax.
What do they call that, Shawn? Is that the Saskatchewan reach around?
We have lots of unique names for things here. All right. Excuse me. All right. Still recovering. I'm 92.386% better than I was last week. All right. Well, since we're going to do the good old pocket watch, I just want to make sure I'm in as much of the screen as possible. For those of you that are watching, of course, make sure you are in a safe spot. If you are able to, if you're sitting up, put your feet on the floor. If you're like me, that may not necessarily work because your feet may not touch the floor if you're sitting. That's okay too. But what we're simply going to do is focus on the watch. You're going to focus on two things, the watch and my voice. So regardless of what's going on between Brian and Jim on the screen, you're simply going to focus your eyes on the watch as it moves back and forth. And the good news is that as it moves back and forth, you're going to notice very quickly that your eyelids become heavy. And that's simply your eyes focusing on the watch and your eyes getting tired. And as you focus on the watch, take in a nice deep breath. And as you let it out, just feel that relaxation start spreading out from around your eyes. It can wrap itself all the way around your head, just allowing muscles to relax. And as you continue relaxing, you'll find it very easy to focus on the watch. And the more you focus on the watch, the easier it'll be to focus on my voice. That's right. Your eyes may get really blinky, they might tear up a little bit, that's okay. Focus on the watch as long as you can. And we're simply going to count backwards now from 10. Starting with the number 10, allowing that relaxation to continue spreading now down your neck, down through your shoulders. And at 9, we're going to take in another nice deep breath. That's right. And then we're going to drop down to 8, relaxing more and more as that relaxation continues to spread. Things becoming heavy, loose, and limp as we move down to 7. That's right. With each count down, you relax deeper, more and more. As we move down to 6, taking in a nice deep breath. As you let that breath out, just allowing that relaxation to continue doubling. That's right. Moving down to 5. And continuing to let that relaxation spread. As we move from 5 down to 4. And at 4, know that there's more. You can go deeper. You can relax even more. Focusing again on the watch. Focusing on my voice. The more you focus on my voice, the deeper you'll go. And the deeper you go, the better you'll feel. As we move from 4 down to 3. Tripling that relaxation now. That's right. And now down to 2, where not only will you double that relaxation, any of those stresses, any of those things that are troubling you, they can relax now. As we move down to 1, in fact, they may relax so much that you'll just forget to remember them while you focus on the watch, focus on my voice, taking it down deeper and deeper as we move now from 1 down to 0. Eyes closing completely, everything completely relaxing now. As you continue relaxing, knowing that you are in a safe spot with us. and that Jim and Brian will both be jumping in to provide you with suggestions and experiences this evening.
And as soon as you're ready to let go completely, just let go of all outside thoughts, cares, and concerns as you sit back or lie down and just take a few moments to let yourself drift into a deep and wonderful state of hypnosis. And every time that you see this watch on the screen, you'll go 10 times deeper if it's appropriate to do so. And right now, I'd like you to just take a nice deep breath in as that watch vanishes, your eyes close, and just let those eyes close as that watch fades away. Fades away now. Good. And now, open your eyes, close them again. That's right. Every time you open and close those eyes, allow yourself to go 10 times deeper. Open your eyes and prepare yourself. Say to yourself, I'm going even deeper now, and close those eyes again as you go deeper and deeper and deeper. As Shawn takes away the watch for now, you'll find any time that he brings it back, your eyes will automatically close and you'll just go deeper and deeper into relaxation. And Brian perhaps will want to guide you into an even deeper state or try something interesting, and you will find that you're compelled to follow all of our instructions because the sound of our voices compel you to follow our instructions.
No, keep going, Jim.
All right. That's going just as deep into hypnosis as you choose to go. Anytime anyone wants to jump in, they can just do that.
That's
Otherwise,
right.
good. I'd like you to consider the possibility. Just think about the possibility that you start to smell something. You start to smell something around you that smells really funky. It smells really bad. In fact, it smells like dirty gym socks or maybe some fish that's been left on the counter for several days. Now, you won't vomit, but you're going to find yourself really kind of retching as you think about how disgusting that smell is. It's somewhere around you, but you can't quite place it. You think it's maybe over there on your left side as you maybe in your mind's eye kind of look in that direction. No, maybe the right side. Perhaps in your mind, you're looking around, you're thinking, you're wondering, and suddenly you realize that smell is coming from you. Wow, you smell terrible. And you're suddenly embarrassed, wondering if anybody can smell you right now, or if maybe they even smelled you earlier today. Feel that sense of embarrassment building up in your stomach right now. Oh, it's so awful. And then, as you continue thinking about it, you suddenly realize that smell is on. And you begin to smell the most wonderful smell you've ever smelled in your life. And perhaps it reminds you of some perfume or cologne that you really like. Maybe it's a smell of some fresh baked bread or a newborn baby. Some wonderful smell, some flowers perhaps, some beautiful tropical flowers. Ah, they smell so good. You get this nice warm feeling all over your body because that smell makes you feel so happy. In fact, it makes you feel so happy you start to giggle a little bit. You start to laugh a little bit. The stronger that smell becomes, that wonderful smell that's coming from you, but it smells like flowers or baked chocolate chip cookies or something you really like. The stronger the smell, the deeper into hypnosis you go, and the funnier it gets. You start to think about how funny, how ridiculous it is that you smell so good. You can't believe you smell so good. In fact, you're thinking about how awesome it would be. You're not going to go anywhere, but you think about how awesome it would be if you could just prance through the streets telling everyone to smell you because you smell so good. And that just makes you laugh. It makes you giggle. It makes you chuckle. Just the thought of skipping through the roads, telling everyone, smell me. Smell me. Don't I smell wonderful?
That's right. And as you continue giggling and laughing, knowing that laughter is really one of the best medicines. As you continue giggling and laughing, just feel how good you feel. Feel that good. That's right. And as that giggling starts to subside, just knowing that you can have that chuckle, that experience anytime that you want. And all you have to do in order to experience that giggling, that lovely smell, is to recall how this all started. Simply with a watch. And if you need a reminder of what that watch looks like, you may want to open your eyes. But
You'll
as Jim
briefly
said,
open your eyes. That's
Jim
right.
said,
Looking at the watch.
that's right.
That
As you're
smell gets
looking at the
stronger.
watch, knowing that you can go right back down even deeper. Now.
Just like that.
That's
Taking
right.
that laugh, that smell with you. Your
Just
mind
like
just
that.
ticks away.
That's
Tick,
right.
tock. As your eyes become locked. Your eyes become locked shut as if they were super glued together. We've all had that experience of, that's right. That experience of getting some super glue on our fingers. You suddenly feel that in your eyes, but it's a pleasant feeling because you're so relaxed, you're so tired, and you know that Jim and Shawn and Brian are here to protect you, to guide you. So, of course, they're going to remove that suggestion when it's appropriate to do so. In a moment, Shawn's going to count from 1 to 3. And the moment he says 3, you'll try to open your eyes. And we want you to discover that they just won't open. In fact, the harder you try to open them, the more stuck they become. And that makes you laugh out loud. It makes you laugh so loud because you find it hilarious that you can't open your eyes. They're completely locked shut. And you applaud yourself for your incredible imagination.
Starting at 1 and building up to 2 and following Jim's suggestions on 3. Try and open your eyes right now, knowing that you can't.
They're just
Knowing
stuck.
that they're glued shut.
The harder you try, the more stuck they become.
And the more you laugh.
The more you giggle. The more you chuckle.
And there's that wonderful feeling again.
That wonderful feeling. That warm feeling going through your mind. Perhaps you even smell that wonderful smell again as you tug one more time to try to open those eyes and they just won't open. And it's so funny to you. It's hilarious. You can't wait to tell everyone what a great experience it was to just laugh, laugh, laugh during the Hypnosis Hero hypnosis process.
That's right. And now you can stop trying to open your eyes. And as you continue relaxing, you've been laughing, you've been giggling, just feeling wonderful. And with that in mind, just a few moments, we are going to bring you back into the room so that we can talk about your experience. And so with that, I'm going to count from 1 to 5, starting, of course, with the number 1, right where you are now, and 2, taking in a nice deep cleansing breath, and letting it out on 3, knowing that all those suggestions were there.
And knowing that every single time that Brian says the word hero for the rest of this show, you get a big smile on your face and you giggle and chuckle. Every time that Brian says the word hero for the rest of this show, you laugh, you giggle, you get a big smile on your face.
Just like Jim's an absolute hero.
That's right. And now from 3, we move to 4. You can feel that awareness building back. And of course at 5, eyes opening, no longer stuck, feeling wonderful, feeling great, feeling like you've just had the best time of your life.
You're your own hero.
Your own hero.
So let us know how that experience was for you. Throw that in the chat, whether that's on TikTok or on the main chat. We'd like to hear from you.
Absolutely. Love to hear your experience, positive, negative, otherwise. If you're on TikTok, if you're following me, go ahead and follow SK Hypnosis as well.
And if you're following SK Hypnosis, go ahead and follow at Jim Kellner.
We'd love to connect. Please share this, like it, tell your friends.
Yeah, we are here every Monday night, starting at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, and all points in between, except for Becca, who's in the UK right now, and is probably 2 o'clock and 2:30 in the morning, just about.
Something like that. 3:30 in the morning. All right.
Scott King's asking, what kind of meat goes on a hero sandwich? I think an absolute hero would like some bacon.
Becca Rose, I don't think I've stopped giggling. That was so much fun. Thank you, guys. You know, Becca is really
She likes the snapping. Jim taught me that. And speaking of heroes, we have a Sammy, sir.
Oh, Sammy.
Come on. Up. Come on. Up. Hey, come here. Oh.
What a precious baby.
Oh, no, come here, sir.
So cute.
That's a boy.
No,
boy.
Somebody got the hero sandwich right. Canadian bacon.
Canadian bacon. Canadian bacon's a fancy word for ham.
Lean ham, no less.
It's back bacon.
Yeah, it's lean. Nobody wants your lean ham, people. We like fatty ham.
Excuse me.
So, guys, we want to thank you so much for watching. We couldn't do this without you. Well, we could, but it wouldn't be as fun.
We'd be doing it with ourselves, yeah.
Just like every other night. Uh, doing hypnosis. We do hypnosis every night, guys. What are you talking about? I know I've become the inappropriate one, haven't I, Brian?
You just roll the red. There have been a couple of them that people have said stuff, and I'm like, don't. I can hear the inner voice of like, no, that's bad. HR is going to want to see you now.
Now you guys, now everybody sees that, what it's like to keep Brian and Jim
That's right.
online and in line.
He's like a lion tamer. He's got this. You should see when Grant and I go live on Amazon. All we're doing is we're trying to bust each other up. We're trying to crack each other up, and so we're on screen talking about some product like this frying pan. Hold on.
Now, are you guys messaging each other back and forth, or you're speaking, trying to get the other to break?
We're speaking. So, like for instance, I'll be like today. I was talking about this great frying pan that I got. It's 12.5 inches, which is the perfect size from what I understand. And it's nice and hard, and
if you fold it in half,
and you can, and it's ridged. I don't know if you can see it, but it's ridged.
No, it's ribbed for her pleasure.
For when she's cooking nonstick stuff. Yeah. The whole time we're just trying to crack each other up, and so the other person is like off the screen, like down below here where you're not on the stream, cracking up. It's awesome.
Okay, so when am I making a guest appearance on that? Because I'll break both of you.
Guys, I really thank you again for watching. Please do follow all that good stuff.
Are you updating Instagram while you're live broadcasting?
I was
or are you holding the camera up to be able to TikTok or something like that?
I was TikToking. Yeah, I was TikToking also.
Oh, okay.
Shawn and I we're multi-streamers. We're all over the place. Yeah. We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you a YouTube. We gotta get you a YouTube channel one of these days, Brian.
I've got one. I think it's like a small couple 3-4 videos or something on there, but I'll have to make a official one.
Becca says, "Ooh, nice. I think she likes my 12.5 inch skillet with a dark finish." And
is that cast iron or is that Teflon?
No, this is not Teflon. This is I can't remember what it is. It's some other more advanced technology. Throwing out all the Teflon, it causes dementia. Apparently, I'm no doctor. I don't need dementia. I've heard it from RFK. It gives you dementia.
So you're alleging that Becca likes dark things that are ribbed, super slick, and 12.5 inches long and or wide.
It's good for getting the job done.
And there went all of our Christmas presents this year because Santa just went the hell with these guys.
Except Shawn. Shawn's still over there going, "Oh my God, these guys."
Shawn's like, "Yeah, they can't understand that in metric."
Joseph, dude, no kidding. That's really what it's about. Multi-streaming, because why stress over one audience when you can stress over all of them at the same time? You know what's funny about that? Oh, thanks, Joseph. You know what's funny about that, Joseph? I still got your book here. I'm sorry I haven't sent it. Oh, you and Becca. Oh, and Scott. She wants to buy that frying pan. It's in your basket right now. Shoot.
Oh, wait, Jim.
What
is that right there in the background?
What is it? What?
I thought you would recognize. Look at the end of my finger. Don't pull it.
I can't.
What could that be?
The lighting is terrible. I can't see.
The lighting is terrible. Hold my beer.
It's your book, Jim.
Evidence I'm wearing pants, everybody.
Oh, is that what I think it is?
You had better be talking about the book.
Remember that?
Wait, hold on. I got to turn there we go.
Yes, there it is.
And then there was.
It is, everybody.
Wait, it has a tab.
Oh, right. Oh, it does have one behind me, too. Yes. Look at that.
It's in written form, everybody.
That's right.
Where is it?
Brian Bay is a hero or something.
Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Settings. No longer mirror my video. Okay.
I'll go away so it's a bigger picture. Hold on.
Yeah. My friend Brian Bay. I'm mentioned in the book. I'm practically famous now.
Practically famous, everyone. Practically famous. That's right. Mentioned in the book in written form.
It's a
Shawn, you
willful
might be
admission,
too,
Jim.
but you'll never find out.
Not until Canada Post finishes their strike action.
Yeah, Becca, I said
they'll probably get here when I fly to Vegas for performing hypnosis.
So we've got a Damn I'm Pretty sticker that came along with this, and a note. Brian, you're one of the most solid people I know. I'm glad to have people like you in my life. And he wrote that with a straight face, everybody.
I might have been drunk. I don't remember.
I was going to say you Bill Clinton might be the silver tongued devil, but Jim, you are the silver tipped devil.
Ooh, that's what she said. So Becca said. Becca said, "Yeah, I just mentioned you, Becca. You're one of the 3 people watching right now that I owe a book to. That is actually sitting in my backpack." And I go to the coffee shop every day and I set it out there and I go, damn it, I got to write these. And then something comes up but I'm doing it. Promise this week.
If she comes to Vegas, you might as well just hand it to her. It'll probably get to her faster. International parcels overseas to the opposite side of the globe during the holiday season. Let me know how that works.
Oh, there's the surcharge too now. Do you know now the post office charges you extra when you mail during this time of year?
I'm not shocked and amazed.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's surge pricing, but I thought it was kind of funny. It's funny. The shirt didn't cost very much extra.
That was probably why my the letter size envelope that I had to send down to Department of Licensing to go get my new plates, because for one vehicle I get free vehicle registration like for the rest of my life.
Ooh.
And then I had to update all my motorcycle stuff too. But that was like a $12 priority mail with a handful of pieces of paper. So yeah, that surcharge is ridiculous.
Cost me $13,000 to send to Canada for Shawn. So
yeah, that's not a surprise.
13,000 Canadian or $10 American. So.
I was going to say, is that the Kanakistan Kopecks?
Guys, we got to run. It's time for Jim's second nap of the day. I appreciate you all watching.
Brian, I forgot you're the wife chauffeur. It's Sweet Jesus 30 in the morning.
Boy, that's challenging, brother. That is challenging.
How is it that you've got the private jet going in incognito status and she doesn't have a driver? It's not you.
That's a good question. I really need to work on that. Maybe I should trade in the plane. I don't know. I bet I'm worth it though. So I'm usually in bed by 7:30, 8 o'clock. So yeah.
And then up in the gym, it just expletive deleted 30 at, getting after it Jocko style.
4:15 in the morning, Brian. I'll text you. You can come join me.
Don't want to. all of those days are behind me. I will. No, you gotta hold your watch up and like have all the dripping sweat on the ground or like a barbell or something and be like, get after it. Those motivational things that he does.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, he's always sweating big time, isn't he? Yeah.
Well, if he did the workouts that he does, we would both probably die. But that guy is an absolute machine.
Indeed.
Oh, Scott! All right, Scott has a good marriage tech tip.
Ooh,
always
what a novel idea! Drive. What a novel idea! Why didn't I think of that for the last 3 years?
How's that going? What do you refer to that as? Operation Pissing Up a Rope or Into the Wind? It's got an Indian name to it.
There have been some intervening circumstances that have challenged that operation, but we're making progress.
Good.
But
good.
anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Catch us next week. We've got Carissa Bowman on the show. She's going to be, she's a really great hypnotist as well. We've got some really great guests lined up, guys. And again, I was telling Shawn, we're literally booked up for 3 months right now. We're booked out for 3 months.
In theory.
In theory, that's right.
We've got to give Chris a hard time.
Exactly. We then have Jody Solberg, local favorite. Brian and I know Jody. She's currently the president of the National Guild of Hypnotists here in the Washington State.
Then we demand a recount on that vote, Jim.
Monday the 23rd, we have Albert Nuremberg, and not to play favorites, but Albert, guys, I'm a fan of this guy. Go check out his TED Talk. He's done 2 of them actually. He's got a stage hypnosis one that is just oh my God, that's freaking awesome, Scott. What a great idea. Go-kart racing.
Scott is practically a marriage counselor.
Dude is like a genius. I mean, why isn't this guy like at MIT, like some kind of a think tank or something? I don't know what it is.
Because he doesn't want the government to clap him and get him Clintoned. He's just going to do what he can and stay safe.
Think about Blue Sky in the future for your multi-streaming madness. I didn't even know I could do that. I've only just signed up for Blue Sky. I don't even know what it really is. But Albert Nuremberg, everybody go check him out. We're going to have him on the 23rd. He is always on the cutting edge of hypnosis. Really, he's done 2 TEDx talks. He's done a couple of documentaries. He works with LaughX. He's doing some interesting stuff with Hypno alcohol. The Hypno bar, he calls it. I mean, just really, really amazing stuff. Can't wait to have him on the show. And then we'll just do one more for December. Legendary hypnotist Shawn Michael Andrews, world's fastest hypnotist. He's going to be on the show too. Don't ask Brian what Blue Sky is.
That sounds like a questionable Democratic campaign finance violation.
It's liberal Twitter or liberal X.
Really?
All the people that are leaving X are going to Blue Sky. Oh, Brian's intrigued now.
So a handful of people that are shaving their heads and refusing to engage in activity that results in procreation and choosing the bear.
And choosing the bear.
I mean, there's probably a reason why I haven't heard of it.
Apparently 1 million people a day are leaving X to go there. I don't know. I'm on both of them. Why not have both? I don't know. But anyway, guys, we got to run. Thanks so much. Again, everybody, thanks so much for joining us, and join us every Monday night, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time.
So until next time, everybody, be well, stay awesome, and remember,